Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, we are going to be doing a reading and energy update for our beautiful collective here on YouTube. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you for sharing your beautiful light and energy here with this space on YouTube. And I'm going to go ahead and get started by shuffling the traditional tarot cards. Now, there is one thing that I want to say right away that has been coming through for a specific collective. And what I'm getting is that you have become so clear energetically that it's actually triggering to certain individuals who can no longer control you and who can no longer trigger you into panic or anxiety or into conflict or chaos. Because what I'm getting is that your energy is so clear and high vibrational that it just seems to bounce out any attempts to engage you in drama or conflict or chaos or anything like that. You simply are not available for those dynamics. But the thing about it is, I feel as though it's not even like you're actively fighting against it or pushing back against it, because what I'm getting is many of these individuals would get some kind of hit out of you fighting against them in some way. It's like even if you were pushing against or fighting against whatever they were presenting to you or however they were trying to engage with you, even through that fighting against whatever it is, they were still getting some of your energy through that reaction. What I'm getting is that now you've reached a point where you aren't even giving it a reaction. You aren't even interested in giving it a reaction. It's like you've completely detached from those kinds of dynamics. And what this is doing is it's actually pushing these individuals into their own personal echo chamber where they are being forced to see and to hear and to face themselves more clearly. The thing about this is many of them are still then trying to offload some of that self-reflection by projecting onto you. But again, it's simply not working. It's not working because on your end, you've done the healing. There's nothing to latch onto anymore. And so what I'm getting is right now, you may have an awareness of some of these groups or individuals or energies who are trying to get a reaction out of you, either positive or negative, most likely negative in this case. They're trying to get you to push back against them or to fight against them or to somehow lower yourself to their level so that they can hook you back into a cycle of drama or chaos. And many of them are actually doing this unconsciously. So they may not even be aware of the fact that they're doing this or why they're doing it, but they're doing it because even in getting a negative reaction out of you, they're still getting some of your energy. But again, you are no longer available for that. And it's very frustrating to these energies that you are no longer available for that. In fact, what I've been getting is it's sending them almost into this sort of panic spiral because your peace is triggering them. You're just peaceful happiness and fulfillment and you staying clear energetically and focusing on yourself seems to be very triggering to them. And I'm actually hearing something about like a spirit of fear. So for some of them, especially if they seem to be acting out of character, it's almost as though your energy of peace is triggering a spirit or an energy of fear that is within them. So if you notice that at times they seem to act very out of character or react very strongly against you just when you're living in your peace or your happiness, what could actually be happening is you're not even like triggering them as a person. You're actually triggering this spirit or this energy that they are somehow allowing in, this spirit of fear, this spirit of anxiety. And I'm getting that all of this is meant to push them to address that spirit of fear within themselves and to heal themselves but many of them are trying to deflect that accountability right now. And I just keep hearing something about a looping cycle or a looping pattern or like a loop that never ends. And you may have felt like in the past, some of these individuals were pulling you into this never-ending loop or spiral or a dynamic that would just repeat itself over and over again. But once again, the message coming through here is you are now apathetic towards those cycles. You are no longer available for them anymore. So I am going to go ahead and reference my journal because I'm just realizing that some of what's been coming out here actually came from some thoughts that I channeled here. Let me see if I can find... Yeah, okay. So what I wrote down on this is old energies are no longer affecting you anymore, and you're noticing. There's nothing to latch onto, and they know it. They're panicking and spiraling because they know they can't trigger you, and triggering you gave them power. Yeah, so it's like in being able to trigger you, even if it was you fighting against them, it was still giving these energies or individuals some kind of power. But what I'm getting is that you are no longer triggerable in a sense. And I'm getting it goes far beyond like specific individuals who may be feeling this way towards you. I'm getting that there are whole kind of ways of thinking or believing or like limiting belief systems that may have triggered you in the past that are no longer affecting you. And you may actually have these moments where you randomly realize to yourself, wait a second, that conversation or that person or that situation or dynamic or environment would have really brought up this fear or anger or hurt or anxiety in the past within me, but now I just feel apathetic to it. And I'm getting that apathy towards things that used to trigger you is actually a signal of how empowered you've become. It's a sign of your progress. So you may actually notice like literal situations like this, and let me know in the comments if you've been experiencing this, but situations where you typically would have been very triggered by something or something someone says to you or a conversation or an event or something that happens, but it just seems to pass over you. I'm hearing you're observant of it. It's like you're aware, wait a second, this is something that used to trigger me or used to make me feel a certain kind of way, but now it just passes over me. I'm getting the words self-confidence. So developing your sense of internal self-confidence may actually be how you've reached this point of really divine detachment, where you are so in your divine essence, so deeply knowing of your own power that these things no longer have an effect on you or a hold over you. So I will cross-reference my journal as different things come up here, but first I'm going to take a quick sip of my water. Okay, so let's go ahead and shuffle the cards. I know I said we were going to do that a while ago, but we're really going to get into it now. As I always say in these readings, I always intend to help you confirm what you already know intuitively. I do channel into many different groups and collectives. So of course, at the end of the day, you are the powerful one. Always use your own intuition and only take what does resonate for you in a personal way. So what can I channel for all of the beautiful souls tuned in here? Okay, so first of all, we have the Five of Pentacles in the reverse position. I feel like there's some kind of recovery here happening in the material realm, either for you or for someone connected with you. Maybe you recently went through some kind of stress or hardship, or I'm hearing maybe you were getting really in your head about something, even if there weren't literal stressful situations manifesting in your material world, you may have kind of been unusually anxious about things specifically related to material things, whether it was money, work, career, purpose, like your path. I just feel these doubts or questions or anxieties coming up, even if they weren't necessarily attached to real, literal things that were happening. Now, for some of you, of course, maybe they were attached to real, literal things that were occurring as well. But in either case, I feel this recovery, and I'm hearing specifically a recovery in your mindset or your headspace where it's almost like a fog lifts and you begin to feel clearer. Maybe you just felt like you were in some kind of mental fog or like a maze internally where you kept kind of mentally getting lost in this maze of like confusion or worry that didn't really make sense. But I'm getting that you are like exiting that maze or that fog is being lifted. But I also feel that that maze or that fog served some kind of a purpose as well. I'm hearing the purpose was to get you to dive deeper into something, to get you to find a stronger sense of security within yourself. I'm hearing something about how these anxieties or these doubts that you were feeling for whoever I'm speaking to here weren't necessarily an indication that anything was going wrong or was going to go wrong physically. More so, these feelings were coming up I'm also hearing like to remind you how far you've come or to remind you how much you've healed, but also to help you shore up an even stronger sense of stability within yourself internally. And I just keep getting it emphasized to me that that security is coming from within here. And again, being shored up through possibly some temporary experiences where you felt like you were a little bit in the fog mentally or emotionally. But again, if that's been you, I really do see that improving here in a really positive way. So there's something else coming up here. And this may be a message for a group of divine feminines, although keep in mind when I use these labels, divine feminine or divine masculine, these aren't necessarily connected to particular genders. We all have a balance of both internally within each of us. So this could apply to you internally. It could apply to an external person or situation. But I feel that I'm speaking to mainly a group of divine feminines who have been really guided lately, especially, to be very careful of who you allow, I'm hearing, into your sanctuary, into your closest space, your inner circle, so to speak, the people and the energies that are closest to you. But especially here, the people that you allow into that inner realm or that inner circle or sanctuary seem to be emphasized the most. And so for some of you, what I'm getting is you're feeling very magnetic at this time. And what that means is you may be attracting in all kinds of things at the moment, especially when it comes to people. I feel that your energy is very coveted right now. It's something that people want to connect with, and people are beginning to truly recognize your energy as rare, which of course it has always been rare, but there's something about how it's now becoming even more noticeable and recognizable just how rare your energy is. For some of you, I could be speaking to the future. So if you aren't yet feeling very magnetic or you're not feeling like you're attracting a lot of new people or things into your life, then buckle up. Because if this has been connecting for you so far, I feel you are going to enter an era where you are very coveted in a sense. Like people really want to be in your energy. They want to talk to you. They want your advice. They want to connect with you. They want, essentially it all comes down to energy. They want some of your energy in some sense, whether it's you thinking of them, you connecting with them, you helping them, you conversing with them, being in their presence, whatever this case is. But what I'm picking up on here is because of your level of magnetism right now, it's very important for you to have a strong vetting process in your life. That's kind of how my guides were referring to it, a vetting process. And what I wrote down is pacing something new that enters your life, feeling it out energetically, noticing how it wears on you and how it's connecting with you beneath the surface. And I really emphasized that line, beneath the surface. People and things will want to move forward with you very quickly. And I wrote the quote, "This is like nothing I've ever felt before," because that's what I feel people saying about you. Like whenever they connect with your energy, either as a friend or a client or an acquaintance or a coworker or a boss or a romantic person, I see people saying or thinking about you, "Wow, this is like nothing I've ever felt before. This is so new to me. This is brand new to me." But the thing that's been coming up here is how important it is for you to set the pace of these connections according to your own intuition, to not rush yourself forward simply because the other person or the opportunity or the energy seems to want to move things forward really quickly with you. Because I'm getting in this next phase of your life, that is a given. It is a given that people and things are going to want to move forward with you really fast, whether it's in a workplace environment, when it comes to an opportunity in your life, a friendship, a romantic situation, whatever this is for you. And I'm getting that you will be learning a lot about individuals and opportunities and just these different energies connecting with you based on how they react and respond to you pacing the movement forward according to your intuition. It's very important for you to notice whether other people, energies, and situations respect your pacing, which is essentially you staying connected to your own intuition to set the pace of that unfoldment, of that opportunity, of that relationship, of that friendship, whatever it is. Because I'm hearing that when someone feels threatened by you pacing things according to your intuition, which at times may mean slowing down, checking in with yourself, checking in with your own energy, recognizing that people have this tendency to become very addicted to you because your energy does provide a boost for others. It provides a lot of opportunities. I'm hearing it's like a golden light that surrounds them and uplifts them. But it's very important for you to pace things according to your intuition and to be observant of how people react when you honor yourself within those connections, within those opportunities. So if you slow down the pace so that you can ground yourself and check in with yourself and really pay attention to how that connection or that person is affecting you, and the other person involved or the opportunity or whatever begins to try and rush you or manipulate you or doesn't respect your timing or even condescends to you for the way that you are timing things, that is absolutely a sign. It's a sign that they are seeking something from you externally that they are not getting within themselves. Because if they had the ability to validate themselves, if they were secure within themselves, without needing to siphon some of your presence or your energy, then they wouldn't be rushing you into something before you felt ready or before it felt aligned for your own intuition. So I don't know who needed to hear that message, but that's just something coming through very strongly. I feel if that's for you, you've already been picking up on that. And I feel what's so beautiful is you've become so boldly attuned to yourself, where you are very much checking in with, I'm hearing like even checking in with your body. I don't know why that's coming up here, like checking in with, how does my physical body feel? Am I hydrating? Am I rested? Am I feeling good in my body? What is my body's intuition trying to tell me about how I'm approaching this person or this connection or this situation, or how they may be affecting me energetically? And I'm getting, again, if you're part of this collective, you've really become so attuned to those signals within yourself, whether we're talking about your own physical bodily signals or signals from your emotions or from your own spirit, your own mind, wherever you're receiving those signals. And I'm hearing something about setting up a checkpoint for yourself. So maybe for some of you, you actually have certain times of day or certain activities or whatever that you use as checkpoints for really checking in with yourself. I'm hearing like scanning your own, physical body, maybe finding where you're storing tension or where you may be feeling out of sync and nourishing those parts of yourself, or maybe scanning your own emotions and picking up on things that you may be subtly feeling so that you can address them or kind of feel your way through them in some kind of way. But I'm just picking up that having these checkpoints for yourself are very beneficial in moving forward with the opportunities, relationships, connections, etc., that you desire to move forward with. Because the thing is, a lot of what is coming into your life is actually incredibly supportive and beautiful. But I'm getting that because of your level of magnetism, you may be attracting in all kinds of energies, all kinds of people, all kinds of opportunities, both those that have the ability to definitely support you and uplift you, but also you're going to notice certain people or energies returning from the past, trying to trigger you or connect with you from a lower vibrational place. Now, the thing is, even as I say that, I just feel that you are so no longer available for those kinds of dynamics that you're really not going to be pulled into those dynamics. But those people and things will come knocking, or maybe they already are. I just feel like you're no longer available for it, but aware and observant of the fact on some level that they are feeling very like panicked and triggered that you are no longer available for them in that way, if that makes sense. It's almost like you're in an observer mode where you know that they can't touch you or affect you or pull you into those cycles, but you also have an awareness that they may be trying to affect you in that way to get some kind of a reaction out of you. I do still feel, though, that through all of that, even being aware of that, you are solidly in your peace. So really anything that comes into your life and really genuinely connects with you at this point is going to most likely be something that is really aligning with you in that energy of peace and happiness and fulfillment. So let's go ahead and keep shuffling here. Yeah, I also wrote down on this, pacing isn't rejection. It's necessary vetting and a form of spiritual self-protection. Yeah, so there may be certain people or energies who take your vetting process, your need to pace things according to your intuition, as a form of rejection. But again, I'm picking up that if they do take it as a rejection and react negatively to it, it's a very strong signal that they are actually consciously or subconsciously reaching for something within you that they haven't learned how to find from within themselves. And as we've been channeling in recent readings, this era of your life is about connecting with people through mutual wholeness, where you've both found a wholeness within yourself, and then you are coming together from that place where you both feel fulfilled and happy and content and peaceful and self-confident, and you're able to support each other from that emotional and energetic overflow, not connecting with each other codependently from a place of mutual lack and mutual need, so to speak. And on this note, you are actually showing a whole new paradigm of connection and of love, and your whole life and all of the connections within it are going to reflect this new paradigm, which is a paradigm of truly unconditional love as opposed to transactional love and codependent love. And I'm not just talking about love in a romantic sense, but in every sense, platonically, with family members, with people generally, in all aspects of our lives. So yeah, I wrote down, you're the real deal. When people touch your frequency, it's unforgettable. And I even considered making that a separate YouTube video, though maybe I will just title this video with that, because that's coming up so strongly that I'm speaking to a collective where people tend to become easily addicted to your energy. And there's something about this current era of your life where that's happening even more, because your signal is becoming stronger and it's being revealed to the world in a stronger way as well. People are recognizing and acknowledging your energy in a clearer way. That's what I'm picking up on here. Now, I have to say, I keep getting this I know we've talked a lot about people from your past or energies from your past that you are potentially observant of or aware of, trying to trigger you in certain ways. And yes, I do feel that is the case for many of you listening. So I wanted to address that. But I also just want to say how, as I was picking up on this energy in my meditation, I kept getting these waves of happiness and euphoria. And what I wrote down around this is, your life is beginning to open up in ways you never thought imaginable, and this is only the beginning. So I really feel like someone needed to hear that. I feel like you've been moving into this phase where you're feeling so much beginning to blossom for you, so much beginning to unfold for you, and there may still be a part of you that is at times wondering, like, where did all of this come from? Or can I trust this happiness or this peace or this phase of my life where things really feel like they're opening up? But the answer is yes, you absolutely can trust that. I'm hearing you've worked for this, but the word worked almost came out like the word healed. Like, you've healed for this. You've healed yourself to a point where you are able to sustain this kind of peace and happiness and fulfillment. You are the one to take the credit for doing the healing work that has allowed you to enter this era of your life where there are going to be so many happy and amazing things flowing in that you are able to sustain because you've created the peace and confidence and clarity and stability within yourself to be able to hold all of those things consistently in your field and in your life. So yeah, I also wrote down, the void always comes before the breakthrough. So for many of you lately, you felt as though you were in some kind of void. And I spoke on this in past readings as well. We've been kind of following this trail of energy, but it's really been this like fertile, magical void, this powerful void of creation and manifestation. And many of you are right on the brink of that breakthrough, or it's happened recently or is happening. It's like the silence before everything changes for you in the most magnificent way. And yeah, with the Knight of Swords, I see this like fast moving energy, big changes. This is about taking a leap or seizing the moment. The sense that I get from this card is something that you've waited for or prayed for or desired for a really long time, suddenly popping into your life. And it's almost like, you know, the feeling of when you've waited so long for something to happen, but when it finally happens, it almost scares you a little bit, not in a bad way, but like you almost think, whoa, wait, is this actually happening right now? You know what I'm saying? And that's almost the feeling I get from this energy. It's like there's something you've been wanting so badly. And I see someone writing, maybe you even like wrote down this request to the universe or journaled about it. That will only be for a small group of you. But I feel like there's something that you've so desired to happen. And the answer was never no, even though it may have felt like a no. It was actually, hold on, we're still preparing it for you. And I'm getting so many chills as I talk about this part of the reading, but I'm also getting that when this thing comes into your life, yes, it does bring up that momentary feeling of, whoa, wait, am I ready for this? Like, is this actually happening? It almost feels surreal. But I'm also getting that when it does come into your life, suddenly your eyes are opened and it's revealed to you through the unfolding of this connection or this situation or this gift or manifestation, why it took so long. Like you almost then see the full picture, like you connect the dots looking back and you realize that whole time you were requesting this or asking for this or desiring this, it was actually being orchestrated for you behind the scenes. I'm hearing this changes everything. I don't know what this is manifesting in your life. I don't know if this is something you've recently manifested or something coming in soon that you feel yourself on the brink of. I would love to know in the comments what this is for you if you know what this is. Some of you may not even know yet, but you just have this sense. There's almost like this electricity in the air, right? Where you may be in that void, but you know something is coming. You know there is some breakthrough on the horizon here. But regardless, what I'm picking up is when it happens, yes, it almost scares you a little bit because I'm hearing this is the real deal. Just like I said earlier, people are talking about you saying you are the real deal. And maybe we'll get into more on that in future readings because I feel like there's a lot to say on that. because you do have such a boldly authentic energy that just people know there is something different about you. You are the real deal. You are like nothing they've ever experienced before. For some of you, I'm getting this is very specifically romantic. So there may be a romantic person who has come back or who is in your life. This does feel very new. So it's either a past person with a very, very new mindset and energy, or this is more likely someone that is very recent in your life or entirely new. And I'm speaking to a smaller group of you here, but if that is in a romantic context and it's new love for you, I feel like this is someone who just looks at you and is like, you are the most impressive, unforgettable person that I've ever met. You are the real deal. But they're not just talking about you. They're also talking about the love that they feel for you. Like, wait a second, this is what it feels like to meet your person. This is what it feels like to really be in love. It's like I hear them saying, this is the feeling everyone talks about that I've been waiting for. And maybe on your end, you're feeling the same way about this person as well. Or again, it may not be a romantic person. This could be an opportunity. This could be something that manifests in your life. And the sense that I get on a broad level, regardless of how this applies for you, is this is something where you always had this sense that something like this was out there for you, whether it is a job or a career path or an opportunity or a community or whatever this is, romantic relationship. You always had a sense that something like this was out there, and you trusted that sense within you when you had absolutely no evidence of it in the physical realm. I'm hearing that verse, we walk by faith, not by sight, but also faith is the evidence of things hoped for and the substance of things not seen, or it might be reversed, the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. I think that that's the correct wording. But what I'm getting is, like, from that verse applied in this instance, you knew that because you believed in it, because you had faith that something was out there like this, therefore it had to exist. You knew it had to exist because deep within your heart, you felt it and you sensed it and you had faith in it. Faith in the unseen, and you walked by that faith, not by your sight, because you weren't really getting visible evidence of it. But now I see that there's this massive moment of breakthrough after the void, which, by the way, the void was that empty space that was now finally prepared to receive this manifestation. And now it's coming in, and there's this form of like instant recognition where things click into place and you realize, wait a second, this is the real deal. This is what I've been waiting for. But I feel that whatever or whoever you're connecting with here, the beautiful thing is they feel the same way about you, or this opportunity has been seeking you out. It's almost like you were made for this and it was made for you. Or like if it's a person, they were seeking you equally as to how you were seeking them. That's like the sense I'm getting here, whether it's a person, an opportunity, an environment. It's like you were both manifesting each other in here. It was very mutual. And you'll be able to connect the dots looking back. But the whole time that you were walking forward to this point, you had to walk entirely by faith. So, wow, this has been an amazing reading. Thank you to all of you who are here. I'm so grateful for your presence here. I'm really excited to continue this on to our extended reading. And for those of you who are new, I channel these extended readings Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So when you sign up for a membership, either on Patreon or YouTube memberships, you get access to 3 exclusive additional readings here on the channel per week. So I am going to go ahead and continue this message onto our extended reading for today. But I am going to also close this reading with a Rumi oracle card, just for those of you who may be leaving the reading here. So just give me one moment here and we will see what Rumi has to say to close this reading. Of course, as always, I would love to hear from you in the comments if anything connected with you personally. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself, where I post more text posts and inspiration to keep your vibration high all day long. And you can now listen to my channeled music under my artist name, Songs by Infinity on Spotify. And I am about to release my 5th song, actually, which I am so excited about. I am working on recording the vocals for that, and then my producer will be mixing it, and I'll be putting it out on all streaming platforms, but the songs do tend to drop first on Spotify. So the link to follow me on Spotify for my music is in the description box as well. And the card that I pulled for today's reading is Cosmic Heart. So let's go ahead and read a guidebook message here. And the guidebook says, "Then, in a moment of my crisis that cracked my heart open, I was given a gift. Though I felt fear and confusion, a gift came to me more powerful than all of those temporary ailments. The gift was the ability to hear the sound hidden beneath all of life. I heard it, that sacred sound of the beating heart of universal love. Now I know that belief in unworthy things, like fear and doubt, is lunacy. Even my own loneliness became unconvincing to me." The guidebook also says, "There is a time on the journey of love when the beloved, that would be you and me, sweet soul, is prepared to engage more completely with the heart of the divine lover. The preparation will be a rich process, spiritually speaking, and yet it is one that will likely take us right to the places we would rather avoid, places of confrontation with pain, where the loss of its grip on our being no longer lets us quake and retreat from life in fear or uncertainty. You have been asked to trust in your own heart wisdom. Here you are, still loving, still wise, and ready for a love bigger than you have ever experienced before. This oracle comes with special guidance for you. More love is rushing towards you. You will struggle with this blessing to the extent that you will attempt to hold on to what has been, so don't let go, let it move you." So that feels like a beautiful place to close the reading. Thank you so much again for tuning in. And again, if you do want to continue with me to the extended version of the reading, then the link to do so is under this video. But otherwise, I am sending you all huge amounts of love and light energy. Have an amazing day and start to your week. And I will connect with you here again in Wednesday's collective reading.